Functions Review questions 20 through 22. Cycle, Dream Enterprise, and Blazing Saddles Incorporated are bike rental companies. Each company charges a different flat rental fee and rental rate per hour. The graphs below show the total earnings Y for each company given the number of hours the bikes were rented, X. Now that flat rental fee, that's that one-time fee, that's your initial value, the y-intercept. And your rental rate per hour, seeing that word per, that tips you off that that's your rate of change. In this case, it'll be the slope of the graph. Questions 20 and 21 want us to write an equation for each company. And then question 22 wants us to compare the two when the bikes are rented for 5 hours. So we're going to start with question 20 where it says write an equation that represents the Cycle, Dream Enterprise earnings. Well, to write an equation, we must find the slope and the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is the easiest to see. It's where the graph touches the y-axis. So right here would be our y-intercept. So b equals 30. I already picked 2 points on the graph to find our slope, and I already drew the rise and the run, just so we have a quicker way of doing this. Now you need to be careful. This is not 1 and 1. Okay, it didn't rise 1. It goes from 50 to 60, and from 50 to 60, that is 10. So the rise is 10. The run goes from 2 to 3, which is 1. So down here for number 20, for my rate of change, my rise is 10, my run is 1. So that means my rate of change is $10 per hour. So Cycle Dream charges $10 per hour to rent the bikes. Their initial value, that one-time fee, is your y-intercept, which is 30. So they charge $30 and then $10 per hour to rent their bikes. So the equation for Cycle, Dream Enterprise is y equals 10x plus 30. For Blazing Saddles, my y-intercept is 50. So that one time, that flat rental fee will be $50. Again, my rise goes from 60 to 70, so my rise is 10. And my run goes from 2 to 4, so my run is 2. If I go down to 21, my rate of change, the rise is 10, the run is 2. Simplify that and you get $5 per hour. So Blazing Saddles Incorporated charges $5 per hour. And then their initial value is where the graph touches the y-axis, the y-intercept, which is 50. So they charge a one-time fee of $50 and then $5 per hour. So the graph for Blazing Saddles is y equals 5x plus 50. Now for question 22, they want to know which company charges less when the bikes are rented for 5 hours. You could take the 5, plug it in for x, and solve for y for both equations, or you could simply just go up to the graph to figure this out. So if I go up to the graph, let's go to Cycle Dream first. They want to know for 5 hours. So right here is 5. So at 5 hours, I'm going to go up to where the line intersects the graph, and then go over to the y-axis. So how much does Cycle Dream charge for 5 hours? It charges $80. Blazing Saddles. Here's my 5 hours. So I go from there up to where it touches the graph, and then over to the y-axis. Now, that falls between 70 and 80, and halfway between 70 and 80 is 75. So Blazing Saddles charges $75 for 5 hours. So which company charges less for 5 hours? Blazing Saddles Incorporated charges less for 5 hours. All right, that's questions 20 through 22. If you have any questions, please let me know.